Guys are witnesses to history. We are dabbling into the horror genre in film. And technically, I don't even think I want to even call this a horror movie. I want to go thriller with this imaginary movie. I don't know. What category would you put this movie under?
So I had to go with you, thriller, but slash horror movie. I mean, it was pretty. I would say it's basically like a rated R Goosebump movie without too much of the blood. I mean, that's the simplest I can get with this movie.
Right. It had potential. It started off with the dream, and it was with Jessica having that dream, and we see that big giant. Was that like a spider thing? I'm not sure what it was, but it had like long claws, and Jessica's father was he had like his eyes were blue and all this other stuff going on, and then like we saw the blood, and I was like, oh, okay, we starting off on a high note with this movie, and then I'll probably say after that it kind of got a little bit slow to me, and it was starting to lose me, a little bit.
Like where to start off with this? This movie was produced by Blumhouse, I believe. They also brought up
produced some pretty good movies
so far. They got Five Nights at Freddy. That wasn't a bad movie if you're a big fan of the Five Nights at Freddy, FNAF. I'm a big fan of their franchise, their video games. But yeah, like it had a good start in the beginning. It had me intrigued. You had the father, Ben, trying to save his daughter, Jessica. I forget what the name of the other world was called. Where the imaginary creature existed. Sacrificed his humanity to save his daughter, which, I mean, what parent wouldn't? And then, like you stated, it kind of got slow. Like I felt like we were watching a different movie in the beginning after we saw Ben save his daughter, and I was like, okay, where's the horror stuff coming around? They come to find out the house was already haunted by an entity named Chauncey that was a teddy bear. An imaginary friend. And it's crazy how, like, you know, they got this girl named Jessica. Now she's in her late 20s, I believe she was. And she's married to a single father named Max. And
shout out to Jesus, by the way. That's Jesus.
Jesus.
You remember Jesus from Walking Dead, right?
I remember him.
Jesus.
This dude Ben has two daughters named Taylor and Alice, which is I think they purposely did some of these names because Alice was one of the first characters in this movie to see Chauncey like in the basement. Which, by the way, like, I mean, I don't agree with the whole philosophy for imaginary friends for children. I mean, where I come from in my culture, we don't do that stuff. But I ain't knocking it. I'm not disrespecting the whole imaginary friend. Yeah, maybe it does help children, you know, to compensate and deal with their tragedies and their mistakes, and also to deal with, you know, problems around the world until eventually they phase out of it and grow up and learn to move on with life and actually gain friends. But the point is, what I'm saying is that it's how we get this character Chauncey to exist. First of all, Alice is wandering around the house, no idea what's going on. Like, okay, cool. This is Jessica's old house that her father Ben saved her, but she has no recollection whatsoever. Then we got this neighbor that comes around that knows her, but she has no recollection of this neighbor either. This old lady, Gloria, I believe her name was.
Yeah, Gloria.
Also, a little fun fact about her: the actress Betty Buckley, she also played in Carrie, the original Carrie, if you remember. I believe she was the teacher.
Really?
That was helping Carrie. That was when she was getting bullied at school. If you remember that movie, it's a great movie too. It's, for me, it's like the whole introduction to Chauncey. This little girl, Alice, goes into the basement and starts
Creepy
hearing
looking
voices.
basement at that. I mean, let's
Creepy looking basement, yeah.
let's
Facts.
emphasize on that. It's
And it goes
dusty,
into like a cellar or some shit.
bro. It's pitch
Opens the
black
cellar
down
and
there.
finds a teddy bear.
It's pitch black. What
Yeah,
child goes into a pitch black setting? Yeah, you have to be pretty bold to be
yeah,
doing something like that. But continue. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
You gotta be wild. You gotta be wild to do stuff like this. But like they say, children are curious creatures. So they go. She goes into a cellar, finds a teddy bear sitting right there in the cellar. First of all, that teddy bear looked already creepy and dirty as shit, bro. She just grabbed that shit and hugged it, and it gave it a name, and it took it upstairs and was like, "Hey, look at my friend." And the crazy part is that we don't know that certain characters can see the teddy bear and the other ones can't. Which kind of mind boggled me because it kind of fucked me because I'm sitting here thinking like, wait, whole time half the characters can't see the teddy bear. Like, how come they didn't say nothing?
But
And
real quick,
the dad was one of them, and I'm like, yo, what?
real quick though, real quick. Well, because Jessica could see the teddy bear. Everybody else couldn't, and I get it. You're a stepmom. You're not as aware as a real mom. Nobody take offense to this. But the second I see, if I was a parent, the parent, that I see a new toy or a new thing that my child is playing with, don't you question it? Like, because
Yeah,
again,
facts. Especially if
she's
it's
the
a dirty
first.
ass
She
teddy
only
bear.
two people can see the only two people can see it. Jessica and Alice. So the first thing Jessica should have been like, Alice, where did you get that teddy bear? Like we just be like, we just cool.
Facts.
Like, go ahead, play with your teddy bear. Like,
So I
what
gotta
in the
emphasize
world?
too, like that teddy bear sitting in the middle of a cellar in the basement, a dirty ass basement at that. And the fact that they let her play with the teddy bear, they don't even bother to watch it. Like, I mean, for me, it's the hygiene thing. Like, I mean, you sit in there, like, you see that teddy bear looks dirty as shit, bro. Like, not only is it creepy, it looks dirty as shit. And like,
Mm,
Alice is just sitting there hugging the shit out of it. I'll be like, yo, hold up, Alice, let me take care of that for you. First of all, where did you get that? And let me wash the teddy bear before you start rubbing your face all over that shit. But hey, it's a movie, so I mean, maybe I'm just thinking about it too much. But you're right though. Like
no.
as a parent, you would think like, where the hell did you get that teddy bear? And why the fuck does it look so goddamn creepy? You know what I mean? Like that's the first reaction. Like why was it in the basement? And I think it's best that we just keep it in the basement. Fuck that shit.
Right. So I want to, because I want to step aside from Alice real quick, and I want to get to Taylor because Taylor and Jessica have like some stepmom stepdaughter
Beef.
rivalry thing be a beef going on where obviously when when you separate from your parents, the step parent never lives up to the expectations of the real parent, so that's what usually causes the rift. But I will say I did like the development of the relationship as it came down to the sense of urgency to find Alice when she ended up going missing in the movie.
Correct. I kind of did like how the relationship with some of these characters were being developed. And it's crazy too how you think about it, how like Alice is just like left in her own on her own. Like no one pays no mind to her too much.
Unsupervised.
Unsupervised is the word. Yeah, there you go. That was the word I'm looking for. Like, it's being unsupervised the whole entire time, playing with an imaginary friend, and everybody is cool with it. Taylor and Jessica are beefing, kind of. Jessica's trying her hardest to get them to open up and build some type of relationship with each other. And Max is just kind of just like doing his own thing. Like he's a musician and he's trying to make it, I guess, or he's making it and he's trying to do whatever he can. And can we get to that part where like the neighbor comes over, the teenage boy, I forget his name. Liam, I think
Liam.
was his
His name
name?
is Liam. Yeah,
Yeah,
Liam.
Liam. And like he's hitting on Taylor. Taylor invites him over. Jessica went to go see her dad, Ben, and he's in a retirement home, I believe it is.
Mental institution.
And it was a mental institution. I thought it was a retirement home. Okay,
institution.
correction.
Yep.
And Taylor's trying to get this boy to be interested, but this boy is he's he's a delinquent, bro. Like he's has drugs. I think they had mushroom or some shit like that, LSD or whatever.
They were painkillers, bro.
They were painkillers?
They weren't even real drugs. They were painkillers.
Oh.
So he ain't even gangster.
So he a fraud.
Yeah, he's a wannabe gangster.
Wannabe gangster. But the point what I'm trying to get to is like this dude Liam comes over, right? He's trying to get this chick to get high with him. Apparently, do some freaky shit. I mean, what teenage boys are trying to get laid. But so he meets Alice, and Alice introduced Chaunchi and then tells him that Chaunchi don't like him. And then he goes, I think he dropped something and he had to go pick it. Oh no, yeah, they were going to the bottle of liquors. He drops it and he had to go get a towel upstairs to go clean it up. Mm-hmm. This dude goes up there, right? Takes a leak and then starts hearing noises and shit. This is where my whole thing that grinds my gear about horror movies is that why is it that every time we have somebody alone in a movie and you start hearing shit that just doesn't sound right, you want to go investigate it on your own? And then you get mad that you do this shit because you're like, I should have never fucked with that shit in the first place. This dude goes to start going in the rooms, goes into Alice's rooms, and then like he sees Chaunchi. And then he sees on the floor in the middle of nowhere, and then you see a string and he grabs it and it attaches to Chaunchi, and then he turns around and then he hears Taylor calling from it, and he just goes back to the hallway and starts investigating again, and then we get another string on the floor and he grabs it, and this time Chaunchi's actually coming forward at him, and you see a glimpse of what Chaunchi really looks like outside the teddy bear, like a giant animatronics with like some big ass teeth, which remind me of Five Nights at Freddy, Nightmare Freddy. But you probably wouldn't know what that is. But that shit kind of scared me for a second. That little pop up for a second. I'm like, God damn, bro. That dude ran quick as shit too, bro. That dude said, I gotta get the fuck out of here, bro. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck, bro? That's what you get for fucking around with something you don't understand, bro. If I see a teddy bear in the middle of the hallway when I just turned around and it wasn't there before, and then you see a string and you see it attached to the teddy bear again, and you don't even know how the fuck it got from one room from the hallway to the other room, I ain't fucking with it no more, bro. I'm done. I'm not doing it, bro. Especially when you hear noises like, get out or some shit. I don't remember what exactly he was saying, bro. Fuck that shit, bro. I'm out.
They're like when what's the husband's name again? Tom?
What's
Jesus. What's Jesus' real name? I'm just
Max.
Jesus. Max. Jesus, Max. Jesus. When they started hearing Alice talking to Chauncey and through the vents, and she was like changing her voice, right then and there, that should have been like a cause for concern. Like, this is not normal. And they just continued to let this shit go on. And then we look at the list, right? We see the list.
Oh, yeah, the to-do list.
Yeah, Alice telling Alice like, yeah, Chauncey has me going on a scavenger hunt. Okay. Then, again, Jessica, be a responsible parent. Let's see what you have going on here. Cause yourself pain. I'm paraphrasing that. But come on now. Like, let's be honest. What child writes that down on a piece of paper?
I don't know, bro. And if it did, that's cause for concern, bro. I'm like, wait, hold on. We need to talk about this shit. What is this? What is this list? And why are you writing this stuff? And why are you trying to hurt yourself? And who's making you do this?
And she's walking around with a basket full of random things, and probably the eye popping most random thing in that basket was the dead bugs and the worms. Why are we condoning you collecting dead bugs and worms? Like, yeah, maybe that's a little bit weird in the science world, but at the same time, you're a young girl. Like, do normal young girl things, like draw with chalk on the ground, like
play with a Barbie or
right.
I don't know.
That's weird.
Weird. Like, to me, that's like a preborn like sociopath or a psychopath about to be created, bro. You could stop that before it actually progresses to something worse later on in the future. You know what I mean? Like, that's like really concerning. If I saw that in a child, bro, I'd be like, first of all, we need to talk about what's going on here, especially as a parent. I'm like, you are not doing some weird shit, yo. I'm sorry. Like, we're not doing this. Talk
Mm-hmm.
to me. What do you need from me? Like, I'll get you some friends. Let's go to the park, or let's go to the playground real quick, and let's do something, or let's go get you a toy. You know what I'm saying? Let's get you something to do, or get your TV, or give them Netflix or some shit. It's like, this is common day, bro. Like,
Right.
why do something like what kids would do? But that's just me. And, and
Are
the
you
whole
gonna?
time too. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask. Was that the part with Liam and Shanti the scariest part in the whole movie, or did you have another part that was probably the scariest part? Because
Another part I had was the imagination world, whatever that world that was called, the other world. That's what I call it, the other world, where Chachi's from.
I was gonna say when the mom came. That shit, I ain't gonna hold you. That did have me jump for a second.
I forgot about that. Yeah. So as Liam got scared and Jessica found him, right? Later on, Jessica's working on creating a new book, and she walks in Alice's room, and she starts to see her having a tea party with Chachi, and then all of a sudden you hear a female's voice, like an older female's voice, talking in the background, like, and she gets scared, and she's like, "What the hell?" And then all of a sudden, it's nobody in the room, and then you see her mom come out the closet, and scares the shit out of Jessica. And then as the scene progresses, like, it changes on where the police got involved, and Max is there, and Max is telling the police that that's Taylor and Alice's mother. That shit was wild, bro. And come to find out, the mom was actually crazy too. Like,
Yes.
Holy shit, yo, what the fuck? She escaped from the asylum just to go see her daughter. Holy shit, bro. I forgot
when
about
she
that
jumped out, I'm like, damn, I was not expecting that shit. Like, she literally opened the door and just dove on Jessica. I'm like, whoa, dude, like, what the hell?
Hey, yo, and we don't even notice the moms, yo. Like, who is this old white lady coming out like the closet, bro? That would have scared the shit out of me too, bro. And come to find out she crazy. Oh shit, bro. Like, it's starting to become a trend in this motherfucker where, like, everybody seems to seem to be crazy in this movie. Alice is starting to get crazy. Jessica's crazy. The mom is crazy. What the fuck, yo?
And Jesus keep just over here just so freaking delusional of everything that's going on right now. Like, come on, man.
Like, everything is gonna work out on its own type shit. Like, yo, bro,
yeah.
you need to be a parent, bro. What the fuck are you doing?
He's just out of touch of what's going on.
And then this motherfucker had the audacity to leave to go play at a concert. Right after that shit just happened, bro.
That's where I was going with it. I was like, your ex-wife shows up at your new wife's house and scares the shit out of everybody. And like, you know what? It's all good. I got this thing going on here. You'll take care of the girls, right? All right, see you.
You sure? No. He said, you sure you want to take care of it? She said, yeah, I think alone time will get us to have some get us to bond more closely. And then he said, because I can just cancel, right, bro? That's not it. That's not even a how do I say this? A choice, bro. It's a decision that needs to be made. Like, bro, you're the man of the house. Stay your ass home, bro. Especially when your kids are scared as shit. Talk about, like, our mom just, like, our mom can. Well, one of them, Alice, is just like, doesn't know her mom too well, so she wants to spend time with the mom, not knowing that the mom is crazy. And then Taylor is just like, oh shit, my mom was trying, maybe my mom is trying to hurt me and my my sister. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of like freaked out, and it's understandable. And Jessica out there like, yo, what the fuck, bro? It's like, yo, your ex-wife tried to fucking hurt me and your daughter. And she's cool about it, bro. Like,
she's calm. Like, I'll be flipping out, yo. I'd be like, why your ex-husband in here? What the fuck? Like, and then I'll be turning to him first, and then I would go to the daughters like, who the fuck called her? Who gave her my address?
Facts.
That shit was just fucking wild. Now, my man Jesus, he's on this band trip, right? So the second that Alice attempted to bash her head in into that nail, into that wood piece. Jessica should have been on the phone with Jesus and should have told this motherfucker, you need to get back here right fucking now. Like she's attempted to cause bodily harm to herself.
Facts.
He don't show up. Just call the therapist. Now, mind you, the therapist is Alana Soto, played by Veronica Falcone. I love her, bro. I love her. I don't know if you've seen Queen of the South, but that's my boo, yo. That's my boo. She thick everywhere. I love her. But yeah, she's sitting down having a therapy session, and this is probably the creepiest part of the whole movie because Alice begins to do that talking thing to herself where Chauncey doesn't like this, and then she'll switch back to being her regular self. By the way, she's a phenomenal actress as a young child, bro. She did a phenomenal job.
Alice, yo, I ain't gonna lie, her acting is amazing because it had me kind of like, yo, this little girl is fucking creepy as fuck, yo. Like, holy shit.
She was on it. She was definitely on it. I ain't gonna hold you. Like her to be able to do the different voices. Yeah, that she's on it. She got a bright future as an actress moving forward in the horror genre for sure.
Yeah,
this is not going to be our last time seeing her. But yeah, Miss Soto, she's recording this, so she goes out, talks to Jessica. I need to speak to you. Okay, cool. And she's like, "There's no teddy bear," and I'm pretty sure the whole audience was like, "Fuck you, me." Yo, we all see the teddy bear.
That shit had me like, what? Like I kind of stood up and was like, wait, hold on, wait, the teddy bear doesn't exist? What the fuck?
So he's like, yes, you need to see this, and then she shows her the record playback of her talking, and she's literally just talking to the couch. So then a lot is like, hey, I have a colleague you need to talk to because I had a case like this in the past where there was a child that disappeared. Here you go, I'll write this down for you. I'm out. See, what no parts of it.
That's another thing too. Right? She didn't even call child services or nothing. And the fact that Jessica's sitting there telling her the whole time, like, bro, what do you mean the teddy bear's not there? I just saw her come out the room in the hallway to grab Chauncey and put Chauncey on the fucking couch. And she's like, wait, hold up. You can see Chauncey? She's like, yeah, he's sitting right there. Yo, that shit was wild, bro. I was sitting there, wait, hold up. Only those two can see Chauncey? Bro, first of all, as a therapist, I'm sorry. I'm going to diagnose Jessica that she has mental issues because she should not be watching that child. And where the fuck is the dad, bro? I would have called CPS quick as shit, bro. Like, someone, you need to bring your ass over here.
She's not even the legal guardian. She's not the legal guardian. How are you going to consult with somebody that is not the legal guardian? That's not how this works.
Well, technically, the mom is out of the picture, so you already know that she's in asylum. So that's one right gone. And the father is letting Jessica, because I think they're married, right? Yeah, they're married. So technically, she's next in command, but technically, that's true. Like you said, she has no legal rights to the child. So technically, the father should have been there. There should have been no ifs, ands, and buts. But you would think that the therapist would call CPS on him real quick, talk about like, I'm sorry, but it would just been like, yo, you're unfit to take care of this child, yo, and the child just tried to hurt himself, and both of y'all seeing things that are not there. That's a red flag in itself. That's 3 red flags. I would have been like, yeah, I wouldn't have told him that. I would have just walked out and told him, call my friend, and then like call CPS and be like, yeah, get these children out of here, or tell the dad, bring your ass over here. I'm calling CPS in like 2-3 days. If you don't bring your ass back,
that's usually how it goes. That's usually how it goes. And like, let's get back to Gloria, because Gloria, she was all weird about it. Like, yeah, you had an imaginary friend too, talking to Jessica. Mind you, she did put Alice in her place when she's like, I'm hungry. Hey, grown-ups are talking.
Oh yeah, facts. You need to do that.
But yeah, but Gloria, she just has like this like awkward element to her, where it's just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? She's like, I used to take care of you, Jessica, when you was a child. She's like, I don't remember. And she's like, yeah, you used to have an imaginary friend just like Alice does. And I've dedicated my life's work to figure it out what the situation was going on with you as a kid and your father and all this other shit. And I'm just like, I feel like that could have been written a little bit better.
Yeah, I feel like that should have been like when they moved in the house. That should have kind of been the first thing that should have happened. Besides the neighbor just standing at the window and then disappearing, she should have introduced herself a little bit more thoroughly about that. But I mean,
Like
haven't
she
seen the
like
movie
you
at
could
that
have
point.
like if you knew her from her childhood, don't you think you should have came to the house like first thing and like, bake cookies or something like that and be like, oh my God, it's been so long since I've seen you. Here, I made your favorite cookies. Like you used to watch this girl when she was a child. Like you got to know what she likes as a child. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah,
could have felt like that could have been written a little bit better than what it was. You just showing up and
yeah.
well,
That's what I'm saying. That part of that in that movie, I think at this point we're already at the halfway point, or a little bit past that. But scene should have. I think that scene should have been fit in the beginning of the movie, like when they moved into the house. But
mm-hmm.
that's just me. But yeah. So Gloria tells her a little bit about the past, and Jessica kind of freaked out at this point, and Taylor's kind of like, "Yo, I don't trust this old ass lady." Um, she reminds me of another character. Have you ever seen Pet Cemetery? If you remember the old guy that was telling them
Mm-mm.
about the cemetery, and then tells them about putting the animals in the cemetery and how they come back. But if you ever watch the movie, she gives me that vibes of that creepy neighbor vibes that plays stupid but actually knows a lot more than they're actually telling you. And the crazy part is at this point, Alice is gone. She disappeared out of thin ice.
Right.
Jessica's trying to figure out where the fuck she went, and they kind of find out she actually starts to figure out the drawings that she had in her old room as a child actually has some meaning back to it. So she's in her own little world, like getting, I would say, more like possessed, or she's getting flashbacks of what happened to her as a child. And then Taylor's the only one, to be honest with you, is the only one being an adult in this fucking movie, because she's out there looking for Alice and having no idea what's going on. And actually, she meets up with Gloria, and Gloria tells her about everything that happened between Jessica and Chauncey. And it's wild because she's an author. She had written books about this, about like these creatures, these demons that hide in or become imaginary friends to these children, these young children, and then manipulate them to control them and give them more power than what they are. So, it's kind of like a Freddy Krueger kind of thing. The more that these kids give the power of imagination to these creatures or these demons or whatever you want to call them, it gives them more power. Kind of like hence like Nightmare on Elm Street, that these kids have dreams and their nightmares give Freddy more power. In actuality, the user that actually is giving them the power actually has more power than the entity itself. Which is a little side note for this movie. So at this point, we're getting that she wrote these books that every culture has these imaginary friends. And it's pretty wild because you kind of you're starting to put one and one together. Like, yo, all these people are crazy, bro. All of them are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So they go and tell Jessica. Jessica figures out. So they have to do a ritual in order to get to this other place where Chauncey's at. And this is pretty wild because they have to do the to-do list, and Jessica got to hurt herself. And then they actually get the door to open. And this is where like shit gets wild, because I think this is the interesting part of the movie that I was kind of hoping that we get to see, is what the other world looks like. And it's pretty wild because it's implied by Gloria that the reason why they see what they see is because it's what their brain can comprehend. So it's like an endless maze, but simplified for the common person to understand and comprehend in their idea of what the world really looks like. Because if they were to see it for what it was, it would drive them insane. Hence, like what Jessica's father did in the beginning of the movie, saving her. He lost his humanity and a piece of his soul in that universe because he got to see and Chanshi's eyes. Oh, a little Easter egg too. Chanshi's name actually, if you actually look it up, it actually means chance or gamble. Hence why Chanshi's is a risk, an imaginary friend if you want. Take a chance on him, or it's a gamble because, like Gloria states, that imaginary friend can be good, but also could be dangerous to children because some kids tend to outgrow them, and they use them as life lessons to to help them as adults later on in the future to deal with their problems. But then there are some that are too attached to their imaginary friend, and hence why they give them power and they are kidnapped because these creatures or these demonic entities need them to survive because they have a great imagination that grants them power and gives them more power. The more they feed on, the more they become more powerful. Hence, in a way, it's like they become immortal. They can't die, which is pretty wild if you think about it. That's a little, it gets deep if you think about it, but this is where the part where I get a little creeped out because at this point, Gloria comes into this other world and then Gloria's telling them all this shit and Gloria's like wigging out, bro. She was tweaking this entire time, bro, because I'm sitting here like, what is wrong with this chick, bro? And they just sit there looking at each other like Jessica and Taylor looking at her like, yo, what's wrong with her? She's like, I've always wanted to be in this world. Like, you have no idea. Like, I missed it the first time when you were in here, Jessica. I should have came in and saved you. I'm so sorry. But now we're here and we ain't going nowhere. And she kicks the door open. Kicks the door closed, bro. And I'm sitting there, bro, how are you going to get home? And she's like, we ain't going home. We're home now. Like, there's infinite possibilities here. We could become young again. We could become immortal. I'm like, yo, somebody shoot this bitch. I'm sorry, yo, somebody shoot this lady because she's crazy, bro.
And that's what you call somebody that's obsessed with their work.
With their work, yeah. And I'm kind of like, yo, whoa, yo, that completely went left field because I didn't expect Gloria to get this crazy, bro. And then we get to see where she opens a door for no reason. You're in a world you don't understand. You don't know what's behind every door because we had like hallways with like millions of doors that lead to somewhere. And against they were memories of Jessica and Alice. And she opens the door and Chansey is like full form, like his real form, and then grabs Gloria and then eats her, and she's sitting there trying to, save herself, and they just sitting there watching her, and they just let her die, and then the door closes, you see a puddle of blood, and that kind of took me for a loop because I didn't expect that to happen because I was sitting there, holy shit, somebody actually died.
Eaten.
I was I think that was the first kill in the movie, bro. Because that shit, I was kind of thinking this was like gonna be like a PG-13 kind of horror movie, and we see blood. I'm like, holy shit, bro, she just died, and they're just kind of like, what do we do? Let's just not open every single door. And I'm like, well, that's a smart choice. Yeah. I'll let you take it because that shit was wild.
That whole imaginary world was just weird because I'm just looking at Jessica. Jessica's just like opening up particular doors. I'm like, how do you know which door to open? And she ends up finding Alice, and she's playing Tea Party with I think wasn't Chauncey in there too? The bear Chauncey. Was he in there?
I was in the other room with Taylor. She was having a tea party with her mother.
Yeah, with her mother. Right. With her mother. But that was just Chauncey just manipulating Alice into conjuring her mother, basically taking advantage of the fact of what people really wanted most, and I believe that's what makes him stronger.
Yeah, by giving the user whatever they desire, and gives the entity more power.
So basically, conjuring up their deepest desires, and Chauncey becomes stronger by those thoughts. Or those conjurings.
Yeah, because the user is happy, and the user is now capable of using the full potential of their imagination. So Alice wanted to remember, hence why her mother was there in the first place. She just wants to know her mother. She is a child that has some recollection of her mother, some memories, but she wants to have good memories with her mother. Hence why she imagined her mother like fully, like mentally healed. is what I want to call it. And actually, that was Chaunchi in disguise.
Makes
So
sense.
it's pretty wild because we got Taylor in another room, in their old room as children, and Chaunchi was there scaring the shit out of Taylor, trying to keep them occupied so they don't barge into Alice's happiness is what I want to call it. And it's pretty
Her
crazy
happy
how
world.
her
Her
happy
happy
world, yeah,
place.
happy place, yeah. There we go. And it's crazy how Jessica walks in and immediately tells her like this is just a fantasy, this isn't real, and how quick Alice just woke up and was like, "Fuck this, I want to go home."
Yeah, like it just came to her like let's and she had like a little cute moment in there like you're my mommy or something like that.
Yeah, and
You're
it was pretty
like
wild. So you can see that the relationship got like was right there, was already bonded. So I mean, like she sees Jessica as a mother more than her own mother. So I mean, that's pretty deep in itself. It means he trusts her and loves her. So that was pretty wild. But just to see Jessica, like I don't remember how old the child was in the movie, but like seeing a child wake up from that like real quick and was like, this isn't real. This is fake. Like this is bullshit. Like I want to just go home. It's pretty intriguing to me because it kind of makes me think that not Jessica, that Alice was aware the entire time that this was a false reality.
oh, so maybe Chauncey possibly possessed her and Alice was fighting for control. That's my key takeaway from it.
I take it like in a psychological kind of way. Is like, when you ever get that feeling and you wake up, right? And you kind of have this feeling like things are not always going to be what it seems. Now I'm saying it's going to be a bad day. Like you kind of already know how the day is going to be out, and you're kind of already like, all right, it is what it is, right? Being an adult, you got
Right.
responsibility, work, and all that. You know you're going to go to some bullshit. And it is what it is. I'm just trying to simplify it real quick. But then, you got these thoughts and these feelings that, that this day is going to go the way it's going to go, whether it's bad or good, or it's going to be all right. And then you go out throughout the entire day, and it's too good to be true. Like, the bullshit that you thought you were going to go through didn't happen. There was no drama. There was nothing bad about it. It's what basically I could say. You got everything you desired, and it feels too good to be true. So you're having a really good day, and you're kind of like, this can't be. And then you start to think to yourself, this is too good to be true. I don't deserve this. And I'm not saying that like, to be weird about it, but I'm just saying like maybe you're like kind of like this is too real. Like this can't happen. This has got to be a dream, right? And then you wake up and you're like, that never happened. It's kind of like
It's
that.
crazy.
It's crazy if you think about it, right? It's kind of crazy, right? Like you kind of could distinguish reality from your imagination, your dreams and shit. Like I'm not trying to say like yes, like the best way I could do to simplify it is like adulthood, bro. Because sometimes you already know that you got to go through some bullshit in order to get what you want in life. But when it's too good to be true, like everything lines itself up the way it's supposed to be, and it's like you really didn't work hard for it, or it just happened to happen that way, and you're just kind of as an adult like, this can't, this no.
Right.
It's kind of like it's kind of like you're doubting yourself, but you're just kind of like, nah, this bullshit. No, I must be daydreaming or I must be sleeping, bro. Because this is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like that. It's kind of like you realize at the end of the day, like this not how it's supposed to be. It's too easy. There's no struggle in it. Like it was just given to you, handed to you. Is more like it. But you realize, like, nah, as an adult, this shit's too easy, bro. Like winning the lottery. Let's say you win the lottery and you find the love of your life at the same time. And I don't know, let's say you get your dream car, you get your dream house all in one day, and you're just kind of like, nah.
Yeah. It's almost like Almost like you get taken control over by Bobbity just to become powerful too. Something like that.
I knew you were gonna say that. Oh yeah. So I mean, hence why we get these. Hence why we get these movies, because it's too good to be true. We just escaped out of reality, right? So I mean, that's what I'm trying to get to. Is like, it's pretty wild when you can kind of realize you can distinguish reality from imagination or dreams. But to go back in the movie, so they escape. I believe Alice got stuck, right?
Jessica at first.
No, not Alice. Sorry, Jessica got stuck.
Mhm.
And it's pretty wild because I thought she escaped. Hence, going to what I said earlier, because her happy place is that she escaped and she was able to live with her family. Her dad got better. She became a number one publisher for her books. And then this is where we get Chaunchi like, you ain't going nowhere. Like,
yeah, you staying here with me.
You
like
stay here
promised.
with me. And then we get these creepy like teddy bear eyes on all the people in the room. That kind of fucked me up a little bit, because they didn't look like teddy bear eyes to me. They kind of remind me of like spider eyes.
Mhm.
Like eyes on a spider, bro. That shit kind of had me fucked up for a little bit. I was like, oh shit. Like, I expected it to have a plot twist, but not kind of like that in the end. And I'm like, damn, yo, they got Jessica, bro. They got Jessica. They had the black girl. Why they got to do the black girl like that?
Bro,
I'm sorry.
I know I should have said this earlier, but I hate her eyes. Her eyes are so creepy to me.
Who's?
Jessica's. Like, they're so creepy. Like, they're almost equivalent to a kitten's eyes. That's how creepy her eyes were. And I was just like, I'm not feeling this. But I was surprised when Jessica didn't leave the first time, and Taylor of all people went back into the imaginary world and saved Jessica. I'm like, oh damn, that's what's up actually.
I was kind of like, damn, I didn't expect that to happen, because you see the Chaunchi version of Taylor coming out there like, promise you're going to stay with us forever. We love you, and then all of a sudden you see the real Taylor hit the Chaunchi Taylor out and knock her out with that piece of wood or whatever it was. I'm like, oh shit! Like, it's like, oh shit, it's actually Taylor. And she's like, come on, let's go. We got a dip. Like, oh shit, that was pretty wild. They end up saving her, and they end up closing the door. And I think Jessica did see a little bit through Chaunchi's eyes.
She did. And Alice saved the day by lighting the door on fire, and it basically burned the whole house down.
Which is pretty wild, because that's also Freddy Krueger's weakness.
I'm just saying, like, a child able to light a match at that age is pretty impressive.
It really is. And then this is where we get, I feel like this is kind of like a Poltergeist moment, because it kind of resembles this, because I'm big on horror movies. This is why I kind of go back to other horror movies, because you can see the references in these movies, these little Easter eggs. Because we got Jessica, she ended up tripping and hurting her ankle, I believe it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're on their way to the I think they went to the hospital. They check out, and then they go to a hotel room. And in the lobby, we see this little boy playing with Chaunchi. And then at this point, we have 3 girls actually able to see Chaunchi: Taylor, Alice, and Jessica. And they were like, yeah, let's go find another room. And
Taylor could see. Yeah, that's right. Taylor could see Chaunchi at the end.
At the end,
that was wild.
That was wild. So the point of the movie was that Chaunchi can't die, and Chaunchi has different names. And it's also, I mean, I took it from like, this ending is that Chaunchi is immortal and he feeds on other children. So basically meaning is that Alice grew up and no longer needs Chaunchi. Mm-hmm. But I also kind of took it like this too. I think there are other entities like Chaunchi. I don't think it's just one of them. I think it's multiple one of them, but that's just me. Because I mean, I can't imagine Chaunchi being in multiple different places. But hence, this is a demonic being. So I mean, it's possible. But I think that it kind of leads up. It could lead to a sequel.
Oh, please no. No. No,
Because
no
it kind of
need.
had me entertained with the other world, the imagination
Mm-mm.
world.
No,
And
I
also a
don't.
little
It's
thing,
not worth it.
a little Easter egg too about about the imagination world. It was decked out in the floor were decked out in black and white squares. Um, People can also relate that to like the Illuminati, but that's near here or there. But it also kind of gives me an Alice to Wonderland kind of vibe. Hence why the little girl's named Alice, because she can travel to another world. So I mean,
Hmm.
it's a little Easter egg. I kind of put two and two together. It's pretty crazy though if you think about it, because Alice in Wonderland was is I grew up with the animation movie, so I think it was a Disney movie too, if I remember correctly.
Sure is
But
Pixar.
it has some really dark moments into that movie that we don't really see as children. But as you get older, you kind of realize this movie really isn't for children, bro. It really
Nope.
isn't. It got a lot of deep, dark tones to the movie. So I mean, a little Easter egg I thought I'd bring up is that the other world remind me of Alice in the Wonderland, and Alice's name is named Alice. So I guess that's where they took that name from, which is pretty cool if you think about it.
It's pretty creative.
Pretty creative.
Hey, real quick, before we end up closing this thing out, right? I'm looking at some of these movies by Blumhouse,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if you've seen the last couple of Halloween movies, but they were unsatisfying to me. And I just realized Blumhouse made these movies.
Oh, for real? What do we got on the slate, real quick, before we close this out? What else
What,
do they
as
have?
far Blumhouse or
Yeah,
what's coming up
Bloomhouse.
next? We got Halloween, Glass, Split, Black Phone, The Darkness, trying to find Insidious, The Red Door, this doll movie, Megan,
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
Visit. I want to check out The Visit though. I want to check out The Visit.
I want to check that one out too. So go back to your Halloween thing. I, it's like going back to the Fast and Furious franchise, dude. They just need to stop. Just stop.
Oh,
How
it's
many
over.
times do
It's
you have to
over.
keep bringing him back, bruh? He doesn't die. Okay, I get it. Okay, we got what, like 12, 13 fucking Halloween movies? Just for the love of God, stop. Like you
I
rebooted it
think,
like four
yeah, we're
times.
15, 16, something like that.
Yeah,
15,
and you
16.
rebooted it three times, bro. Just stop it, yo. You keep going back to the second one and like, yo, how many times can you keep remaking these movies? Same thing with like Terminator. Just stop making those movies, bro. Just who cares now? Like, just stop.
What? I
Terminator got
love the
boring. They
Terminator
rebooted that
movies,
two
bruh.
times already. Just stop, yo.
Well, this new reboot, I feel like it's gonna be another 3 or 4 movies.
Shit. I mean I mean they were pretty decent. If Bloomhouse made those Halloween movies, creative with the kills, but overall the Halloween thing needs to stop. Insidious, I like Insidious. I think they can keep going maybe, but change the characters. Like I think it's time for a new lead. But yeah. So I mean overall, I want to see Megan too. I heard that was pretty good. Five Nights at Freddy wasn't bad. I just felt like they should have made it a rated R movie instead of a PG-13 movie, but we could possibly get a sequel. I'm waiting on that. We'll see what happens because there's so much more lore into the game that they haven't introduced. But overall, I mean, this movie wasn't that bad, bro. I can see myself watching this movie again. Imaginary, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't terrible. It just felt that
I'm not. One time is enough for me.
I just felt like they didn't know whether they wanted to go darker or keep it, you know, for children, I guess. Because I don't know what the rating was. I think it was, what was it, rated R?
PG-13.
Oh, PG-13. Well, okay. I didn't know. It felt like it was trying to fight to stay PG-13 or rated R.
You really didn't see anything graphic except for the puddle of blood underneath the door frame.
With the whole pop-ups too. I think it's getting played out a little bit too much. I mean, I can kind of tell when it comes at when you're seeing something scary come up. But also I think they need to go deep in the lores and horror movies. And the killing needs to go up because in horror movies I expect to see somebody get murked. I'm sorry. That's what I go to watch a horror movie for. I mean, not Saw type of thing because that's a little. I feel like that's a little weird,
Graphic.
too goddamn graphic for me. But overall, Imaginary wasn't bad. Blumhouse has a pretty good direction with the movie, but I think they just need to go rated R instead of PG-13 if you can make a sequel or make a prequel about it. Either way, it don't matter to me. So That's all I gotta say, bro.